Hi everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. John Wilson here, and in today's video I am buzzing to show you my little sign. Previously in one of my other videos, people thought that I was saying hello to them or hello to John Kuckian. That is actually my website, hellojohn.co.uk, so if you want to go there and say hi, that's totally fine. But my little sign, I might change it, so if you suddenly see your name up there because you've left a comment in my comment section, that's maybe what I'll do at some point. So you need to keep watching my videos and you need to keep commenting, and we might get your name up there on the next video. But in today's video, I'm super buzzing to be able to talk to you about this crazy need for receipts that somehow has sprung out of Dramaland and has spewed itself over the whole of YouTube and the whole of the internet, and now all of a sudden people can't have opinions, people can't tell you stories, even story times now without needing to provide you with a receipt, which I think is bullshit, and I'm going to tell you the reason why in a second. But I'm also going to talk to you a wee bit about YouTube as a business, and in today's video we're going to talk about my favourite YouTuber, John Kuckian. I love him so much. Isn't he just a nice guy? And honestly, the past few weeks I've not made any videos. I've just been sitting, lurking in the comment section, watching Twitter, thinking what the hell is going to go on next. This guy, in the past couple of weeks, has fallen out with Here for the Tea. I'm sure you know. They had a huge falling out in social media, and that was really messy, and he accused her of some really disgusting, horrible things. He has had more videos flagged by Jeffree Star and Manny MUA in the past few weeks, and he has also had a bit of a ringtone scandal with Rezi. Allegedly, he's pocketed some money for charity. He's then gone on to go on Snapchat and show him donating to charity, and it's all just been really messy. And I'm going to talk about John Kuckian quite a bit in this video because actually it's really relevant. He's somebody that I know of pretty well, and I have an opinion. I have an opinion on the guy, and I have an opinion on the situation. So I'm going to address the first thing that I want to talk about today, and that is the need for receipts. So I told you my story about how a YouTuber that I have never named contacting my place of work, our business I'm affiliated with, and making a complaint about me in relation to the business on YouTube. So they complained about my YouTube channel and they made a complaint about me. Now, people are speculating who this YouTuber might be, and I'm not going to deny or confirm that speculation, and I'm not going to provide you any receipts for that, because what this YouTuber did was really divisive and very clever. I want you to think about this for a second. If you make a complaint about somebody in a professional capacity in the business that they work in the UK, you're protected by data protection laws. So it would be very foolish of me, considering that the businesses that I'm affiliated with outside YouTube don't want involved in any YouTube drama. It's not their thing, it's not their beef. It would be very silly of me to, having had them address their complaint with this YouTuber, for me then to bring the business into the video by mentioning the YouTuber. Does that make sense to you? So under data protection, you're somewhat protected for your complaints. Therefore, as somebody that is affiliated with the business, I can tell you about this crazy story. It's like talking about, I had an experience in my life and it was a customer and whatever. Nobody can pin it down to where or what it is you're talking about. So you can be very vague, and everybody gets a gist. Everybody does that. Do you know, in real life, have you ever spoken to your mates and you've said, oh, I have this friend, and actually you're talking about yourself? Or you've walked in on a conversation and you've heard a bit of the snippet of the conversation, and your friend or your mum or your auntie or your granny or whoever it is that's telling the story, you said, oh yeah, I was just being told this story today. But actually you think, have they been told the story, or are they telling the story? You don't know. The ambiguity of storytelling can really lend itself well, because you can kind of give people enough to read between the lines, and please just use your common sense. Why would I come onto my channel to tell you lies? You've watched all of my videos before and I haven't told you any lies. So why am I going to start now? It's not what my YouTube channel is about. There are other channels out there that have been caught lying time and time again, and to be honest, if I don't have my facts straight, I don't put the video out. That's just how I am. But anyway, back to my story. People are coming at me saying, I want to see your receipt, I want to know, I want the email sent to your work. And guys, I can't give you that information. I obviously can't show you that information, and that is why the YouTuber went down that route in the first place. So that they can still look like the nice, saintly person that they are, and I look like a dick for talking about it. Would you rather, here's the deal, would you rather I didn't have a channel and I didn't talk about my experiences, and there was one channel on YouTube, and let the biggest and the most bullshit and the guys that play the dirtiest win? Because I'm not about that. I deserve to be on YouTube just as much as you deserve to watch the YouTube content. And you deserve to make YouTube channels of your own. But I'm going to tell you now, it can sometimes be a really shitty place and people do shitty things. And if they're clever enough, they're going to get you exactly where they can put you in a place that you can't discuss. Does that make sense? That's my first example. My second example is, I've mentioned it before, John Kuckian had a huge falling out with Here for the Tea. He apparently, as it seems, and I believe this to be true, is swiping the stories out from under Here for the Tea. Now listen, I'm going to be a bit defensive here, and you can choose to leave me a thumbs down or leave me hate in the comment section, or you can listen to me out and you can hear what my thoughts are. I'm going to be defensive of Here for the Tea because listen, her style of video is very different to this. I can come on camera and I can do something different with my hair and I can have a chat about this, and I give you something different. It's easier for you to get a feel for me as a person, and therefore you buy into me rather than the stories that I tell you. You know, I can come on here and I'd like to think that we can have a glass of Prosecco or a cup of tea together, and I do that on you now regularly, and we can just hang out and it's totally cool. And that is fine. I can talk shit on my channel and it doesn't really matter. Here for the Tea has a very different style. She is more journalistic and she uses a lot of screenshots and evidence, and everything is receipt based. Imagine putting all this effort into gathering everything into your video when that is the only thing that you've got to offer to the people who subscribe to your channel, and then for some little fuckboy, that was, to come and take all of your content and pass it off as their own. That is why Here for the Tea was so angry with John Cookan, because allegedly that's what he's been doing, and I believe that to be true because that is just the type of person that he is. He picks the low-hanging fruit and he does whatever it takes to make himself look like the blue-eyed boy, literally the blue-eyed boy, and I think he plays dirty. That's the bottom line. So they had a falling out. She put him on blast, quite rightly so, because she works really, really hard at her videos, and he took total exception to that. He then made a video similar to how he made a statement about me, saying that he didn't know I had a husband, I was being sneaky behind my husband's back and all of this bullshit. He's made statements about previous moderators of his, previous friends of his, were all obsessed with him, and he said the same thing about Here for the Tea, but he also called into question her marriage and her personal life, and he then went on to make a really, really serious accusation. Now listen, I am not going to get into that. I'm not going to talk about that accusation at the minute. Everybody knows what it is. If you don't know and you're watching this video and you're thinking, what the fuck are you talking about, John? Then I am really, really sorry. Just listen to me for the next 2 minutes and we'll get on to our next subject. But I'm going to talk about this for a second. John spoke about a really, really sensitive subject that has legal implications in our country, in the UK, and also in Canada and the States where Here for the Tea is based. So in all parts of the world that we all are in, there are serious legal implications to the allegations that he made. Now, I've seen on social media people saying they're becoming a bit despondent, they're feeling fed up with Here for the Tea, think she's at it, Do you think she's a drama channel? She should have addressed this before now. It's one of these scenarios where she can't, like, use your common sense for a second, right? Think about the allegation. Think about what's been said. It's not just her that's involved in this, and the allegations about her marriage, it's not just her that's involved in this. She doesn't come on camera herself. So let's think about the marriage bullshit, which it is, situation for a minute. Her husband is definitely not going to come on camera if she doesn't. So she doesn't talk about herself or her family. It's very journalistic. So why is she going to address that? That's my first question. It doesn't make any sense to me. And if you're expecting her to address that, then I think you're barking up the wrong tree, because I would be very, very surprised. It might happen, but I'd be super shocked if she came on camera like I do and she brought her husband beside her and said, tell the bastards, we're fine. She's not going to do it. So why are you becoming despondent? Why are you feeling like it's a setup? Why are you feeling like she's pulling your leg for some reason? I don't think she is. So you can think what you like. I'm being defensive off here for the tea. I'm loving her for the minute. The second big allegation is there are more than just her involved in it. And I need to be very careful in what I'm saying. There are other parties involved, third parties. Now listen, there's going to be one story, there's going to be another story, and then somewhere in the ether, there's going to be the truth. Now, John has been very clever, and he's played a very, very clever card in that he's put this on camera, and he's put it on camera and then had it removed, but it's been on long enough to be on all the gossip forums, on Reddit, everywhere else. You know, if you want to know the story, you can do your research. I'm not going to tell you this horrible, disgusting story because it's not true as he says it. It's not factually correct as he's put it. I don't care what anybody says. It's not the case. And secondly, it cannot be spoken about. It's not, as much as you would love it, it can't be spoken about. It can't be spoken about not only just for here for the tea, but for the other parties involved in this scenario who never asked to be on YouTube and have anything about them discussed. So never mind by a third party that really has nothing to do with the situation. So guys, this is my advice. Sometimes your YouTuber cannot give you receipts. If we tell you a story time, unless we're in the habit of talking serious amounts of shit, then you really need to believe what we're telling you, because to ask us to provide you with receipts when you know it's very, very difficult, and therefore you're going to assume that we tell you lies, is very, very, very unfair when you're spoon-fed bullshit from other YouTubers that, by the way, have been proven, categorically proven, to have false receipts and receipts that are made up. Now, John Kuckian, in my opinion, my conspiracy, my theory is that some of his receipts are less than A+. They're less than perfect, and they could be quite easily debunked as either he's made them himself or taken out of context. So that is my thing about receipts, guys. Listen, trust your YouTuber. It takes a lot of balls to switch on this camera. It takes a lot of balls to tell you stories about us. Sometimes we get drawn into situations that actually we're backed into a corner and we can't fight our way out, and therefore we're left indefensible. John Cookian is very, very clever, and he knows exactly how to put YouTubers in that place. Otherwise, why would Nikki Tutorials, etc, 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 not just put him on fucking blast for the amount of shit that he's spoken about them? Because they probably know that he's going to have a way to manipulate the situation. So that's my first subject, and if you're thinking at the end of this, John, fuck knows what you've been talking about, then I apologise. I'm really sorry, but I'm going to talk to you a wee bit more about YouTube, because one of the second questions that I've seen quite a lot over the past few days is, given the amount of controversy that John Cookian has found himself in, why is he still allowed a YouTube channel when people like Martin Lewis, for example, have had their YouTube channels taken away? Which is a very, very good question, but listen, I'm going to see if I can break it down for you, and I'm going to encourage you to think about YouTube in a very, very different way. And at the minute, as a YouTube subscriber, you're probably thinking, It's a community, it's a place where we get to hang out, and there are a set of rules in place that keep us all safe. That is the case. That is true somewhat, I think. There are rules that keep us in check. I want you to stop thinking about YouTube like that for a second. I want you to stop thinking about it as a place where you get the content that you like, and I want you to just solely think about the first 10 seconds of the video where you see that advert, or the markers throughout the video where you see the advertising spaces, and I want you to start thinking about YouTube as a place where advertisements are displayed. Now, as an advertiser, you want your ads to be displayed on constantly, in really prominent positions and frequently, so that your message as an advertiser gets seeped into the system, and when the person who's ready to part with the money to your business is in a position to make a buying decision, they just think about your business like that. That's how advertising works. And YouTube is a place that adverts are sold. Sure, it is a place where I can put my content. I will edit this and trim it and upload it, and my content will be there, and I'll get all the lovely comments and some thumbs up and some thumbs down, and then it'll trickle onto Twitter, and I'll have all this great interaction with you, and that's what I love about YouTube. But for YouTube, what they love about YouTube is the fact that they can sell money on this video at the markers that are put in place. Should I get some of that money? I love it, it's amazing, but don't get me wrong, YouTube and Alphabet, the company that own YouTube, make the majority of the money. So I want you to think about YouTube as a business, and I want you to think about the question of how do bigger YouTubers, John Cookan included, and specifically him, gets away with the controversy that they get away with. And here's my opinion on it. Why would you remove a really valuable asset, which John Cookian, whether you like it or not, is a valuable asset to YouTube? Why would you remove or shut down somebody that produces so much inventory for you to display your adverts? If you think about subscriber counts and watches like billboards, and the more subscribers and the higher the watch time, the bigger the billboard is, would you, if you were asked to clear a field of billboards, let's use that analogy, take down your giant billboard first, or would you take away some of the smaller billboards in the hope that nobody notices the big giant billboard? That's exactly what YouTube do. That's what they do. So every time you flag the videos, the bigger the YouTuber, in my opinion, my theory is that it actually is looked at on a closer detail the bigger you are as a YouTuber. Smaller YouTubers, they get taken down like that. It doesn't matter, girl, they're not bothered. We are less valuable to YouTube. So I honestly think that every time somebody has a misdemeanor on YouTube, or acts out of line, or has serious controversy, or is caught bullying, which John has, caught making people's lives a misery, telling horrible stories that should never be told on YouTube, or anything else like that, I think what happens is, honestly, there's this whole story about the flags being automated and YouTube heroes and all this bullshit. I think what happens is, somebody sits somewhere with a screen, they pull up a revenue report, they say how much cash does this person make us as a business, how big is their billboard, how much do people want to pay to be on that billboard, is it worth the hassle? And the bigger the YouTuber you'll find, the more worth the hassle it is. So hopefully that helps you understand why people like John Cookian, who have caused huge controversy and a total nightmare to lots of people in the community, they're not particularly nice people. That's why they're still here, that's why they still have a channel, and it has nothing to do with the fact that they're innocent or they're not proven or whatever else. In my opinion, it has everything to do with the fact that they generate a lot of money for YouTube, and YouTube would be crazy to send them home packing. So hopefully these two subjects start to get your mind thinking. Honestly, I love the critical thinking that goes on in YouTube. There's not enough critical thinking going on to be honest. I want you to question the stories that you're being told. Think about what I've just told you. Go and look at it. Talk to your friend about it. Have a conversation about it. Message me. I'm on social media. I will leave my links down below. I'm on Snapchat, Instagram and Twitter. Send me a message. I'd love to get into it with you and I'd love to talk about more with you. Hopefully I've made some sense to you, because honestly, I think that sometimes we get so sucked into situations and the easy thing to do is say, give me your receipt, prove it, tell me this, or they must be innocent because they're getting away with this, or it can't be that bad, or what the fuck are you doing, YouTube? Hopefully this has answered some of these questions for you. I've totally loved being back. Thank you for allowing me to have some time off from making videos. Don't forget to hit up my website. I'll leave some social media links in there too. And I will talk to you very soon. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and you can watch my latest video here. Bye!